This is Dr. Savita Goel. Hello students. Today let's revise Sarojini Naidu's short poem entitled Indian Weavers. Sarojini Naidu, an Indian political activist and a renowned poet, was born in 1879 in Hyderabad. After doing her matriculation from Madras University, she was sent to England to pursue her higher studies. A proponent of civil rights, women's emancipation, and anti-imperialistic ideas, she was an important figure in India's struggle for independence from colonial rule. She played a significant role in the making of Indian Constitution. She was the first Indian woman to become the president of the Indian National Congress and the first woman to become the governor of Uttar Pradesh. Naidu was a child prodigy. She began writing at the very young age of 12 years. The major themes of her poetry are patriotism, love, and death. In 1905, her first collection of poems named The Golden Threshold was published. Her other collection of poems are The Birth of Time, The Broken Wing, and The Feather of the Dawn. She is one of the most sensitive, prolific, exuberant, and humanitarian Indo-Anglian poets of our country. Her dynamism was contagious and mesmerizing. She is known as the Nightingale of India. This poem, Indian Weavers, is from her collection of poems entitled The Golden Threshold, and it is considered to be one of Naidu's most remarkable poems. It deals with the profound subjects of life and death, fragility of human existence, although it appears quite simple in the literal sense, yet it has a profound meaning and a deep spiritual and philosophical significance. This poem consists of 3 stanzas having 4 lines each. Here, the poet talks about 3 kinds of apparels that the Indian weavers weave at 3 particular times of the day. Metaphorically, each time and the dress weaved in that time symbolizes a particular stage of life. In the poem, there is a kind of conversation between the poet and the weavers. The poet questions the weavers and the weavers reply. Now I'll explain the poem stanza-wise. In the first stanza, I'll read out the first stanza. Weavers weaving at the break of day. Why do you weave a garment so gay? Blue as the wings of halcyon wild. We weave the robes of a newborn child. In this stanza, the poet asks the weavers, why are they weaving clothes early in the morning? And the clothes seem to be extremely beautiful and charming. The clothes are as blue as the wings of a halcyon wild. Halcyon is the name of a kingfisher. The wings of the kingfisher are bright blue in color. In addition, blue color also symbolizes loyalty. The blue color thus symbolizes something beautiful and precious. Hence, in this stanza, the clothes weaved by the weavers are quite special, and this is why the poet is curious to know about them. The Indian weavers reply, we weave the robes of a newborn child. That is, they are weaving the beautiful dress for a young one who has just come to this world. Now, in this stanza, there are a number of images which are used to describe the first stage of human life. Like the images are break of the day, garments so gay, and blue as the wing of halcyon wild. This stage of life is full of joy, happiness, freshness, hope, and beauty. There is no sorrow in this stage of life. Now, let's do the second stanza. The second stanza is weavers weaving at fall of night. Why do you weave a garment so bright, like the plumes of a peacock, purple and green? We weave the marriage veils of a queen. In this stanza, the poet again meets the Indian weavers, this time during the fall of night. It refers to the evening or dusk time when the sun goes below the horizon and darkness approaches. This is also the time during which most of the Indian marriages take place. The poet questions the weavers. Why do they weave a garment so bright like the plumes of a peacock? The garment at this time is extremely bright and full of colors like the feathers of a peacock. The weavers reply that they weave the marriage veils of a queen. Thus, depicting the second or the adult stage of human life. During this stage, humans are quite active. They love each other, they get married, and they hope for a wonderful and prosperous life. The colors purple and green symbolize sorrow and happiness or struggle and ease in one's adult stage. And all these colors or the ups and downs of life make the adulthood bright. Now the third stanza of the poem. The third stanza is weavers weaving solemn and still. What do you weave in the moonlight chill? White as a feather and white as a cloud? We weave a dead man's funeral shroud. In this last stanza of the poem, the poet finds the weavers very solemn and still. The expression on their faces is very melancholic, sorrowful. They are very calm. They are weaving something weird in the moonlight chill. That is the dead of the night, which is white as the feather and white as a cloud. That is, it is colorless and lifeless. And the poet can't make out what cloth are they weaving and why are they so silent, why they have a somber expression on their face. She questions them. What are they weaving? And why are they weaving? The reply of the weavers is that they are weaving shroud, a cloth used to cover the dead body of a person. So the third stage or the final stage of human life is death, which is lifeless like a white cloud or feather. In this way, the life which begins with hope, joy, ecstasy, ends with sorrow and grief. The symbols of life and death, as stitched by the weavers, are very striking and poignant. Indian philosophy and spiritual insights find their way through various expressions. Weavers could also be imagined and understood as the symbolic representation of the Hindu trinity of gods, that is, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Mahesh, the destroyer, thus representing the three phases of human life. So, this is the end of today's class. Bye, students.